This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha Kodash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to the elect that scattered across the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing his truth and sincerity and meekness without wavering, as well as risking their life and freedom to do so. This is your brother ICR for the GMS Cleveland Church, and I'm back with another lesson. And Lord willing, it is edifying to one of the Lord's elect. All right, and as you see, this is from the neighborhood talk. This is posted probably a couple days ago, I believe. Yeah, 2 days ago. It says scary. January was reportedly the worst month for job layoffs since the 2009 Great Recession, mainly in healthcare, tech, and transportation, due to economic conditions, artificial intelligence, and more. So this is no more work for Egypt, man. Okay, and that Egypt is talking about modern day Babylon, which is the United States of America. Okay, see, Isaiah 19 is a prophetic chapter. It's not talking about ancient Babylon. Okay, there was plenty of work for the Israelites. Okay, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Seminole Native American Indians. Back in ancient Egypt when the Israelites were in slavery. Okay, there was plenty of work. Okay, there wasn't any job cuts. Okay, this is talking about the United States of America, man. All right, it says worse than the 2009 Great Recession. Okay, so if you know anything about the 2009 incident, the time, which I was young at that point, so I didn't really know much. But looking back, this what's about to happen to the United States of America now is, it's on life support. The United States of America is on life support, and the Heavenly Father is about to pull a plug, man. All right. Or there's gonna be a scarcity of jobs, okay? Because everything is got to go digital. All things are gonna be controlled by artificial intelligence. There's not gonna be there will roughly be transportation jobs because why? They want to box you in 15-minute cities where you don't need a vehicle, and they don't need vehicles because it gives off emissions to ruin the air quality. You see, and it's going to be driven by AI. So this is the way that this so-called world is going, man. All right. So it says job January layoff announcements 108,435. Right, that's 118% increase since last year, and 205 since last month. Okay, December. And the job cuts come from technology. I mean, transportation, technology, healthcare, chemicals, financials. You see, so this is over 100,000 people that are without jobs. Okay, and how many of those people have families, man? Okay, to take care of. You see, this is going to cause a lot of chaos here in the United States of America. When people don't have a job, and they don't, without having a job, you're not able to so-called live here in the United States of America. And living here just means paying bills, man. So you'd rather be dead, and instead of so-called living here in the United States of America. Because living here, man, you really a slave. You have to pay for everything here in the United States of America. Soon enough, you're gonna have to pay to breathe air. Okay, literally, they have something called a carbon tax, man. You see, so it's better to be dead than living here in the United States of America, Babylon the Great, man. All right, so let's play some of this video. Well, not some, but we're gonna play this video. We're gonna get the comments too to see how people are reacting to it. All right, because this can play on a lot of people's emotions and mental, man. Okay, which can cause them to do things that they never think they would have done before. Drastic times calls for drastic measures, man. Okay, let's check it out.
Data showing, breaking just moments ago, new data showing January was the worst month for job cuts since the 2009 Great Recession. CNN senior reporter Matt Egan is joining me now. What else is this report telling you?
Yeah, Sarah, look, this is a bad way to start 2026, right? Layoffs way up, hiring way down. So Challenger Gray and Christmas reports that during the month of January, U.S.-based employers announced just over 108,000 layoffs. Now, that is roughly double January of 2025 and roughly triple the end of last year. In fact, Sarah, as you mentioned, this is the highest since January 2009 during the great financial crisis. Of course, that was just months after the collapse of Lehman Brothers. Now, as far as where the layoffs are, it's really largely in two sectors, transportation and technology, really leading the way. In fact, two companies, UPS and Amazon, account for roughly 40% of the announced layoffs. Also, healthcare, chemicals, and finance as well. Now, as far as
Why is it transportation and technology? Once again, because I say AI is taking over, man. You're gonna have a lot of these people that's in these offices at these tech companies. You know, AI is learning everything that they're doing, and AI is replacing them. Even I brought up AI vehicles. You got some companies out there like Uber and Lyft. They're sending out cars that are autonomous, meaning self-controlling. Okay, there's no driver in there, just an empty seat and AI, man. So this is the way that the United States is going, man. You're about to be replaced with artificial intelligence, man, and this is why Esau Edom is going to come through with the universal basic income to make up for your lack of income. Okay, but that's only going to come when he brings that MOTB, man. Okay, they already have it laid out. Okay, they already have your information, all your information on a radio frequency identification device, and it's coming with $2,000 incentive every month. Okay, they already have this planned out, man. Okay, they're playing on the people's mental right now. A lot of people, they see this and wake up in the morning, they see this and it just ruins their day and cause them to be depressed. They don't know what they're going to do next. Is my job at risk? This and that, and people start to freak out and bug out over that, man. Okay, and a lot of you're gonna see a lot of people so-called crashing out, uh, losing their wits. Okay, because they don't have the foundation of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. See, the Lord warned us that there's not going to be any work, man. Okay, and we've told you people this. Okay, starting with our elders and apostles, man. They've been telling you this for decades, man. There's going to be a time when there's going to be a scarcity of employees, man, and of employment, okay? And that time is approaching. You know, there's been hella layoffs for the last couple of years, man, which they're not telling you. Okay, they're telling you, but these numbers probably not even accurate. Okay, so let's keep playing.
why companies are laying off during the month of January. The leading reason was a loss of contract, market and economic conditions, restructuring as well. Artificial intelligence, as you may have guessed, also playing a role as well. So you put all this together, and again, it really paints a concerning picture about the job market. Now, one thing I do want to note, though, is that we're talking about announced layoffs. Economists put more weight on actual applications for unemployment. And first-time jobless claims, they do remain pretty low, and the unemployment rate, it did stabilize at the end of last year. So we've got to pay close attention to what happens next on that, and hopefully we get some more clarity from the official government jobs report, which is expected out next week, delayed because of the government shutdown. One other thing to point out, though, here, Sarah, is this was also a bad month for hiring. Challenger says that just about 5,300 announced hiring plans by companies. That was down 13% year over year. In fact, this was the lowest since Challenger started tracking this back in 2009. And remember, Sarah, all of this comes.
Hiring announcements 5,306, lowest on record, 13% decrease. So nobody's hiring, man. Nobody's hiring, man. All you people who go to college and get a degree, I'm gonna major in this and that. You're gonna come out with of college with a shit ton of debt and no employment, man. You have been deceived. You have been duped by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, starting with the wicked elite banking families, man. Okay, let's keep playing it. I'm gonna check the comments and I'm gonna close out.
After last year, which was the weakest for the U.S. job market for job growth outside of a recession since 2003 under George W. Bush. And this report at least suggests that there was no big rebound during the month of January.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. I mean, that's the best way to look at it. It's not good if you are in the market for a job or you've just lost your job.
Yeah.
It's
or
rough
all those
going
kids who
out
just
there.
got out of college.
Exactly. All right. Thank you.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. All those kids that got out of college, man. And there's not gonna be any employment. And also, they say there's not a lot of jobs hiring. Man, don't quit your fucking job, man. All right. I remember the elder Ariala down in Dallas. He said it a couple months ago. That little job you got, not a couple months ago, but a couple years ago, it stuck to me. That little job you got, keep it. You know, you might not. Nobody likes their job, man. Nobody. Okay. Uh, so if if you have a job, keep it. Don't be making rash decisions when it comes to your employment based off your decision, off your emotions, man. Okay. If your job pisses you off, okay, you take a deep breath, uh, stay occupied. Okay, look for another job while you're working. Don't just fucking quit and then look for a new job. Okay, because you might not get hired. All right. So let's check these comments. It says they're doing a reset, firing and then hiring for less pay. Y'all worried about immigrants while losing jobs to AI and corporate greed. Get a job, they say. I've been looking for a second job with no luck, and the prices of everything is still going up. Let's check this. Let's see the response. Just use your phone. Why would you get a second job, babe? Use her phone for what? OnlyFans? So that's what a lot of women are going to resort to doing. Okay, the OnlyFans, prostitution. Okay, you're gonna see a lot of women out here that you thought were modest, shameful women, shamefaced women. Okay, no, you're gonna see them turn into whores, man. Okay, drastic times calls for drastic measures. Says even when I was working 100 hours a week, I was still broke. Unless you spend less than you earn, it doesn't matter how much you make or earn, you will go broke, which is the rich folks' goal anyway, since they want to exploit us for our labor until for 70 years old. See, you work 70 hours a week and you still broke. You're living beyond your means, man. All right, I'm gonna just be honest. That's 40 hours of overtime a week. Okay, you should have enough money to sit back, okay, and chill for months, okay, without working. Okay, but this is a woman. Of course, she's not wise with her money. Says, girl, I get it. Two jobs and in school for my BS. I don't know what BS is. Sis is tired as fuck, but the cost of living is expensive. One job just wasn't cutting it. So she got two jobs and in school. You women are through, man. Okay, you women are completely through. It says use your phone to get paid online since you be on these gossip pages all day. I talk about it on my page. Yeah, so let's keep going. See, they're blaming Democrats and Republicans, okay, which is causing more chaos and division. Okay, this is why it's important to live way below your means if possible. Look, and mostly women got laid off, specifically women of color. This right here, I know a few, specifically black women, who are now the most unemployed demographic in America. And this is why you see a lot of black women with OnlyFans, Twitter, okay, they're posting their figure, their physique, their body on the internet because they're looking for the highest bidder. Okay, these women, these so-called black women, they have children to take care of. So guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna offer off their body, man. Okay, to the highest bidder. So ironically, most still prefer to live an "I don't need a man" lifestyle, which also makes them the poorest and most in-debt demographic in America. On point, man. On point. Somebody said this is likely a bot. No. It said, look, you black women love telling people to not believe the facts, data, and statistics, which confirm not only are black women the most unemployed demographic in America since April 2025, they're also the most evicted, most in debt, least married, and the most demographic in America, and the poorest demographic in America. All this faking y'all doing on social media is easily debunked by the data slash statistics. Black women's 50 plus year obsession with being strong, independent, and don't need a man is one of the main reasons they are and will continue to be at the bottom. The government, white men, and white feminists convince black women to sabotage themselves. Now white men and Trump are throwing their favorite tools, parentheses, fools to the wolves, man. Right. So you see the so-called black woman. She has been used, abused, and tossed to the side, man. All she has been used, abused, and tossed to the side by Esau, even the so-called white man. This is going to cause Eve to come back to the Israelite man. Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, the day is talking about the upcoming days here in the United States of America when society collapses. Okay, and in that day, 7 women, which just means it can mean any amount of number. 7 just means completion. One brother might have 2 women, the next might have 20, the other might have 75. You see, who knows? It says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, and that's an Israelite man with this truth, man. It says, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Let us be called by thy name and to take away our reproach, man. So let's read this in a couple more versions. All right, let's see it in the AMP. It says, and in that day, 7 women will take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own food and wear and provide our own clothes, because these bitches want you to buy them everything, man. Okay. See, it's gonna be a complete 180, man. These women won't be asking you for shit. They're gonna be offering to help you. Okay. They don't do that now. Okay. And if she does offer to help you, take it with a grain of salt. These women can't be trusted, man. Okay. We will eat our own food and wear and provide our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. Take away our shame of being unmarried. Right. So how does you take away a woman's shame of being unmarried? Okay. And how did she get called by your name? You have to have sex with her. Okay. Because sex is considered marriage according to the Holy Scriptures, man. Read the book of Genesis, the 24th chapter, with Isaac and Rebecca. Okay, so a lot of women are going to come seeking for the man of the Lord, okay, and they're going to come submissive, shamefaced, and humble, man, okay. They're going to be adding to you, okay, instead of you adding to them, all right. And this is how you know that the end is close, man, all right. So I'm gonna close out. Lord willing, this was edifying to one of the Lord's elect. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles, and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to the elect. Khan Yasharala Shalom, Wa Abad, Babal.